evening. I'm Melisa Idris.
And I'm Sharaad Kuttan.
Welcome to Consider This, the show where we want you to consider and then reconsider the news of the day. Now, we're taking a look at the lessons learned from the Tanjung Piai by-election. Barisan Nasional, represented by MCA's Reject Singh, won by a whopping 15,086 vote majority against Pakatan Harapan's Karmaini Sardini, who is from Bersatu. Joining us on the show today, we have Nicole Wong, MCA Youth Chief, as well as Dr. Rais Hussin, Bureau Chief for Policy and Strategy from Bersatu. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Pleasure to have you here. Now, I'd like to begin with your sense, Nicole, of what happened in Tanjung Piai. Nicole, I'd like you to begin with your assessment of what went right for MCA, and then I'd like to hear from Rais what your assessment is. What do you think went wrong with Pakatan Harapan's performance? Nicole.
If put in this way, what has gone right, and then we did it right, which is we have chosen a right candidate who has been never gave up after the GE14, the loss of the seat, and Dr. Reject Singh has been follow up and then continue servicing, and then of course a lot of contribution and also this helping this kebajikan thing and things like that on the ground for the people regardless of race. So I think this is one of the point that we have chosen a good candidate which is absolutely fit for this by-election.
Right, and so he, of course, had been a two-term MP.
Yes.
And he had a long history with the constituency. Okay.
All right, Rais, what about you? Your assessment of what you think went wrong for Pakatan?
On the hindsight, there are going to be avalanche of analysts from many people, just like pre-PRK and post-PRK. But one good thing that we have to take from this particular election result is that people have spoken. And people have spoken very loudly. And what is the message that they're trying to get? Please go and get the job done.
Okay,
I think that's very important.
We're going to come back to that precise issue later on, but we'd like to, for you to help us understand things, very simple things, like the choice of candidate. Why somebody much more senior as opposed to somebody young, youthful, or somebody with a maybe deeper history in the local situation. Could you help us understand those kind of considerations? From a Bersatu position, perhaps even a Pakatan position, what went wrong? What do you think? If you had to pick one or two factors, what would you pick?
I think, well, the candidate selection is gone through a very stringent candidate selection process, just like the other coalition or any other party. And PH and PPBM or Bersatu collectively decided on Haji Karmain, who is a local guy and everything, have a solid background and so on. But do remember, there is something called national sentiment. What happened in GE14 was also national sentiment. Johor is organically an UMNO state. UMNO was found in Johor. And the main issue at that point of time in GE14 was that there was a huge moral crisis, moral issues that really impacted the way the voters would vote. Now, coming back to what happened in Tanjung Piai, obviously, as I say, on the hindsight, everybody is an expert. We are still doing the post-mortem. We are trying to judge what really went wrong, what can be done. But I have spoken about this in August 2019. And what did I say then? If PH does not do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then be prepared. We are going to face
punished.
That we are going to have some problems with regards to the election outcome. This was in August. That was a few months ago, for which, of course, I had to go through some public rebuke. But it is all right. The important thing is that for us, for PH, is that this early warning signal must be taken positively.
Early warning meaning you see this as a protest vote for a referendum of Pakatan Harapan's performance?
I wouldn't say it's a referendum of any sort. That's quite simplistic. But for us, for me, I keep on telling everyone, take this as an early warning signal. People have spoken, and we need to focus on things that we need to be focused on.
Okay.
Can I add a little bit?
Yeah. Tell
Yeah.
us, I mean, was this a vote against Pakatan as opposed to a vote for MCA in Barisan Nasional?
Can I a little bit like come back to the selection of the candidate? Says that when we chosen a right candidate for ourselves, and then I mean Pakatan Harapan have been chosen their candidates. In fact, and then the races card and all that have been played by them, which is Malay vote for Malays, things like that. But I think this is the important message that Rakyat has awake that as issues has happened, you know, issues need to be taken, but it's not playing the races card anymore. So I think that is one of the reasons that all the races, regardless of races, has been come back and telling the government that, sorry, please hear our voice as we want you to settle our issues. We want you to, you know, looking at our whatever needed from the ground and all that, but not politicking everything.
I guess what was really a couple of things were really surprising to me. The first was the majority, the magnitude of the majority, right? In GE14, I think we lost with Rais of the majority.
Yes.
He now won with more than 15,000 votes.
Yes.
And for Pakatan, Pakatan has lost every single one in the 27 polling districts, as opposed to the 11 that they won in the last GE. So for me, that was really quite a stark difference. And I'm just wondering whether this is this really an early warning sign, or is this really, a billboard saying, a billboard of dissatisfaction?
I'll put it this way.
Nicole.
You may put it that this is an early warning, but I might say this is actually, the warning came late as well. What shall I say that? Because, put it this way, you should have aware people's voices, people's complaining about a lot of policy which is you took place without concerning our people's feelings and all that. But what do you call that? By forcing people to take it, a lot of policy, which is some of them which is keep U-turning and all that. So I think since chance given by this by-election, that's why people using this to actually voice out.
Okay, so people use this as a way of signaling that dissatisfaction. Rais, I mean, the question of you were a major critic, as it were, within the Pakatan, right? And this is why it's very important to speak to you. I mean, what is it that the leadership does not get? It's been said by observers that the campaign that Bersatu and Pakatan ran was arrogant, that they were insensitive to the needs of people. We had the candidate saying that palm oil farmers ought to be grateful for what they have. We had a prime minister from your party who said that he wants to keep everybody equally unhappy. I mean, is this the consequence of keeping everybody unhappy? You'll lose a by-election.
You see, I was at Tg Piai and I had a conversation with the fishermen in Sungai Durian, for instance. And when I look at the boys, 12, 15, 16, when I look at them, I see in their eyes hope for the future, right? Now, the problem that I think, which I've been very vocal about it, I write about it a lot, and not only write, I also participate in conferences and then vocally say about it, is that we need to be focused on the 5 important things. And what is the 5 important things? Number 1, cost of living. If we do not manage the cost of living of the people, we will have a pushback like this. Number 2, quality of living. Quality of living just not confined to better disposable income and all that, even education. 3, creation of credible jobs. I'm not talking about Gojek, I'm talking about credible jobs, right? Number 4, affordable homes. Number 5, affordable healthcare. These 5, which I conveniently call it as the perut economy, the stomach economy. Just don't look at my stomach, it's far from being good. But if we do not address this, whether it's PH or BN, we will see the same pushbacks.
All right.
And that is very, very critical. And if you do not address this perut economy, then the identity politics will become important.
Okay.
That's my concern, my worry.
Let's come back and continue this discussion right here on Consider This. Stay tuned.